Welcome to Coffee with Ken. I surrender.
I surrender.
I surrender.
I surrender.
What am I doing this for?
There's a white flag.
A white
We're
flag?
gonna find out in
Waving
just
the
a
white
second.
flag.
Oh, I thought I was wiping a
Yeah,
tear.
we're gonna find out in just a second. First, we gotta introduce who we are, and
You
you're
do?
Ken Brown,
Yes, I
CEO of
am.
Destiny Global, and we have Butch McCracken. He's general manager here, and I am Dr. April Brown, and I'm executive vice president of coaching at here at Destiny Global. And
Mm-hmm. Oh, that is good coffee.
you know when you wave the white flag and you just
Mhm.
say I surrender. Ever really
Typically
wanna,
not, because I don't do that, but
Well,
sometimes I
some
probably
of us
needed
do.
to,
Have you
didn't I?
ever heard me say, I'm done? I'm done.
Sure.
I
I've heard
surrender.
this.
It's over.
I
I'm
have
done.
heard this.
I'm out.
Remember, you fired me before.
Yeah.
Where's the
Yeah,
donate
that's-
button?
That's
yeah, I'm
how
out.
we got here. That's
I'm
how
out.
we got.
So I guess I did wave the white flag.
Mhm. Yes.
I surrender. We're going to the Destiny Global Training,
Yes.
in
And that
Frisco,
was a
Texas,
surrender because
February 2018.
I brought you.
Drug
You
me.
Drug.
Convinced.
Yes. Negotiated.
I was going to meet Butch, I just didn't know
like
him yet.
negotiated.
Come or else.
Yeah.
I knew I was trouble the first time I saw Butch. He was walking around with a box of tissue. I don't even think I mentioned that. So the first time I said, there's that guy who's walking around because he's bringing around tissue because people are in a business conference crying. It's like, oh, dear heaven.
What's happening?
What's happening? Yeah.
But it's all that is part of even what we're talking about today.
Oh, absolutely.
Of that taking off ego is a big part of
Mhm.
realizing what how to get to that next level
Mhm.
is that sometimes we actually have to learn to serve.
Yep.
And we can't serve if we don't have that heart of humility to
Mhm.
serve others, and not just about ourselves. Not that we're not there to be successful
Mhm.
and do those things that we do to get success, but how are we serving others?
Yeah.
And we have to have a surrender, just like
Well-
because we knew we couldn't serve each other. We were
Yep.
not serving each other well because we were both about our own thing and what we thought was the best thing instead of understanding where the other person was coming from.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that's a good point. Is the surrender we're talking about isn't if you're in battle, because we're from Texas. We ain't ever. And you see that "don't tread on me, come and take it" mentality. It's still true, but there's times where you have to surrender goodwill versus God's will. We talked about that several weeks ago on a success tip, but it's really surrendering to His will instead of fighting Him all the time, because it's just a battle you're not going to win. He always wins, right?
Yes, he does.
So getting in alignment and with our Creator and what the purpose is that we should be doing, and that takes us to places that we never quite know where we're going to end up, but it's always better than where we were going.
Definitely.
Mhm.
It is always better. I mean, who would have even imagined or dreamed that we would be here where we are if we had not taken that step of surrender to go to a training like, what is this training? Where's this
Right.
place? And to come and to be teachable,
Yes.
to be teachable. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, a lot of times we have to be at the rock bottom to be teachable instead
Yes.
of really just realizing that we need to continually be teachable and that we have not arrived. And
Yes.
that's as soon as we think that we have arrived,
Right.
then
It's
we're
so
done.
true. And we just talked about some of this stuff at the last, First Steps. It was just here, by the way. We have another one coming up, but if you miss this one, you want to stay tuned. But let me tell you something. The law of action and decision are intertwined, right? Because if you have to make a decision what you're going to do, because no decision is a decision.
Right.
And a lack of action doesn't create change. If you're talking about changing and you're not taking action, you're not changing. You're thinking about it.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
just
yeah.
a pipe dream. It's not
Well,
a-
I wanted to lose weight, or I wanted to get healthy, or I wanted to start a business, but I didn't do anything. I just thought about it. Right?
Yeah.
It's all a dream. Make your dreams a reality. Get busy.
Mm-hmm. take those action steps.
Yes.
And you have to figure out what those action steps are. And a lot of times people don't have the skills
Mm-hmm.
to know what those they have made a decision they want to, like you said, to go to that next step of building a business, but they don't have the next action steps of how to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have to have the skills of what are those next action steps, and
We can help them with that.
Mm-hmm.
But bigger than what you're just back to your point is that's even a matter of surrendering.
Mm.
You have to surrender to him, which means you're gonna have to overcome some fears sometimes, right?
Mm.
Sometimes it can be hard to start a new business. It can be hard to do this or that. Sometimes you have to step past that. You have to surrender and get over yourself.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's for sure.
You ever need to get over yourself?
A few times. But as we're talking, I'm thinking about, especially in management and when you're new to management, right? You've worked your way up through the ranks, and for whatever reason, you've been promoted, so however you've done,
Mm-hmm.
and you get into situations that you're not familiar with,
Mm.
and you don't have the answers.
Mm-hmm.
And I found in my career to not put on an act, but to say, time out, let me ask somebody, what would you recommend to do in this situation?
Mm-hmm.
And not necessarily a superior,
Yeah.
but someone that works with you or reports to you,
Mm-hmm.
because some of those
Mhm.
people have been in the trenches for a long time,
Right.
Yep.
and they have the knowledge
Mm-hmm.
to do that. So
Find someone who
Yeah.
who has done what you want to do and learn from them.
yeah,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
it edifies them. It makes them feel
Mhm.
like,
Mm-hmm.
wow, that's pretty good. But that takes humility, because I've seen
Mhm.
places where, individuals just, make the decisions, and if they need to ask for help, it's a sign of weakness, and it really isn't.
Sure.
It's
Yeah.
humility
So good.
and
So
laying
true.
down and saying, what do I do here?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That is good.
yeah,
That is good. And that's why we originally got to this training. We knew that there were just some skills that we needed that we didn't have. And even being in business for as many years as you had been, having success where you had, but us working together was a whole different, like you said, a whole different unfamiliar skill set that
Right.
we did not have. And even just trying to put
Mhm.
together IKEA thing was not good.
What
Like,
are all
what
these extra pieces? That's junk. I don't know why they put all that extra stuff in
just
the
in
box.
case you lose a piece. That's only
Yeah,
extra.
it's extra. As the table
Why is it
wobbles.
wobbling?
Yeah, exactly.
Been there before.
Oh dear
I
heaven!
don't know what happened.
Yeah, so,
Just get them to put it together. It just costs a little more, but have them do it. Yeah,
so we didn't have those skills.
Yeah.
we didn't have
And
those
we
skills.
had to
We didn't know we
find
didn't have
something-
those
Yeah,
skills.
we didn't know.
We just know that we heard that there was differences that could be taught,
Yeah.
and we had to step into those. But I got to tell you, when you think about surrender, it's a mental process, because usually you've reached a point where something has gotten to a heightened state. I'll put it that way, or you've placed your spouse into a situation where they're going, I'm out, right? I'm tapping out of this one. No go, right? So they're tapping out, saying, I'm not going to go down this road with you. We can go do these other things, but this one is off the table. That's not a good situation. You don't want
Yeah.
to be tapping out.
Mm-mm.
No, not good. But realizing that and saying, okay, we might need some skills if we're going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
We might need some skills, and surrendering to that it's not, we're not going to be able to wing it.
No.
Winging it can be fun, though, honey.
You just told me that before. Like, do
Like-
you know me? I don't wing it.
You don't, right?
No, I
No,
don't
I know.
wing it.
When he shows up with a car, hey, honey, you like the new car I bought you?
Yeah.
He's winging the
He's
car.
winging it.
Ah.
So,
Just wing it.
hmm So yeah, just learning
Mhm.
that we and in that surrender, coming to learn from people who we saw, and we actually heard stories
Mhm.
of, wow, you can have a business conference that also helps you in your relationship to be able to work together.
Mhm.
And so from hearing those stories and testimonies, we knew it was a different level of surrender, because
There are degrees of surrender.
Yeah,
That's a big
'cause
one.
Ken has been to so many business conferences. I had been to so many like counseling. You have to go get your CEUs. I've been to for 20 years to those things. And
Dear, I had
you
hired
think
John
that
Maxwell to do training for our
Yeah.
corporation. It's not like not just training, I was working with these people,
Mhm.
right? So I knew it.
Yeah, you knew it.
I knew it.
all.
But none of that stuff applied where things, just because I was applying in business, I wasn't applying it at home, right? There was not the connection. And because we men, we tend to put things in boxes, right? You know, when we did the marriage conference with Mark Gungor, everything has its own compartment and drawer, and they do not cross over.
Including the nothing box.
The nothing box, the work box,
Favorite
the
one.
home box, the wife box, the kids box, and everything has its own box, right? The in and out box for those special food moments with which, so you're thinking through what decisions that you need to improve on when you're thinking about where my life wants to be, where I want to be versus where I'm at. And knowing that I have to make a change requires surrender.
Yes, that is key. That's key. And that takes humility.
It does.
And so you have to learn, though, at that point that and now you have to take action on it. And so
It's
taking
time for
action.
action. Tell them what it's time
Yes,
for.
time
Guess
for
what's coming up?
action.
What are we doing in Houston?
You just announced we are going to Houston. Yes, we're going to Houston.
I leaked it, Butch.
You linked it.
You did.
Yes,
That was quite humble
September
of you.
29th through October 1st. And this is one you do not want to miss because
No.
we are going to do some
Amping
things
up some business stuff.
that are next step.
Yeah.
I can't use that word because it's first steps, and that's our training. But we're going to really give you some practical application things to take to really scale your business and really
Absolutely.
be
Yeah.
able to,
Absolutely.
in this last quarter,
It's the
time to
last one of the year.
time
Yes.
to step it up and do.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. So
We don't want to be saying, Houston, we have a problem. Houston, we have the
we
answers.
have the answer.
Let's
Houston.
go.
Yes, let's surrender. Let's take action.
Yeah.
So we want to see y'all there. There is the information below. Click on the link. Get your ticket because I really think there's a whole group that's planning on going from Houston that are all down in Houston.
Yes.
So
Wow.
you want to
It
get your
is.
ticket.
That is true.
Urgency, 'cause it
We're going to
could sell
sell
out.
this thing out.
Yeah.
Get your stuff.
So
Get your stuff. Do not mess
We're
around.
super excited. So
Yes.
get your ticket now. Get your ticket now. Don't wait.
Yeah.
Don't wait. It's time to take action.
Surrender.
And we want to see you there in Houston.
See you there. Yes.
And so thanks for joining us here on Coffee with Ken. And we're taking action. We're
That's
going to
right.
take action today.
Have a great day.
See
See you,
y'all
gang.
next time on Coffee with Ken.